Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Well. I see you. Uh-oh, but wait a minute. I screwed up something already. Gosh darn it. So you're going to see nothing for a second. Hold on a second. Give me one moment. Because, of course, I don't have this ready. God, there we go. All right. Hey there. Hi there. Ho there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel. Now, I'm going to warn you right now. I still haven't figured out what's going on with Streamlabs, so I have it pinned on YouTube, but not on Rumble. If this stream suddenly has me in a frozen state, like if the day after tomorrow happens and then I'm just suddenly frozen stiff, just hang on a minute because I'll have to restart Streamlabs and start over. It seems to be happening once a show, and I don't know why, but at least YouTube picks it back up and doesn't treat it like I quit. So, because I'm not a quitter, okay? I am not a quitter. I am fully capable of continuing the show. I just sometimes have problems with the technology, and it's not me. I didn't do anything. I don't touch anything. All of a sudden, just boom, I'm frozen, and nothing's working. So, anyway, hi, it's Friday. It's Free For All Friday. This is well, I don't know if it's a new feature, but it's a feature that I do. And also it's Q&A Friday. So I'll drop a Q&A section out here in a moment. But let's just go ahead and say hi to everybody. It is, by the way, that Trump rally was interesting. They said there were 25,000 people there. I don't know if there were 25,000 or not. It's funny because there are certain people in the world of X and all these other people that like to show like photos of things that happen with Trump, but they always show it before the thing starts, or they don't show it in the middle of the rally. They'll show it. So there's an aerial photo that shows that, this park is not exactly full, whatever. And I'm just curious if they just do that on purpose. They show it like it's before the thing starts, and not everyone's there or whatever. I don't know, because I'm sure some of the numbers are exaggerated, but I don't know if it was Trump that exaggerated this one. I thought the city police said there were about 25,000 people there. But I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that Donald Trump did a rally in the South Bronx. I mean, one of the guys said in the hood, like the hood, not just the hood, but the hood. So we'll get into that and much more, and plus whatever you guys want to talk about, because I'm not driving the show. I have a few articles open, but that's just in case you guys can't think of anything. And clearly Gunfox, who is, what happened here? What is going on with all my stuff? Come on. Gunfox61's dropped a couple of Hamiltons in the tip jar already, and you are the new... What? Hey,
you are
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Gunfox. Already up at $20 in the goal. And what's going on here? Free for all. Okay. Friday is, so we're already a third the way there on today's donation goal of $60. So thank you, Gunfox, for providing ample supplies and crayons for the whole thing. What's the date today? 24th. So we'll end this on the 25th. 24. There we go. All right, now we have a proper donation goal. So here we go. Let's say hi to everybody and get this damn thing started. First in the chat, over on Rebels, Mr. Avocado Diablo. Of course, May gets the bell. Also, good morning to our friend Jimmy Das Hotep on Rumble. And good morning to Mike Savage. Blarg. Uh-oh. Asian. Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday. Maybe you weren't. We'll get it. Gunfox dropped articles as he drops Hamilton's. The first one, he says, Mental Fridays, and the second one says War Report Asian theater. So a BBC article, and not the good kind. You know what I'm talking about. All right. I do have my cup of reparation coffee, courtesy of Brigida's Cafe in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Actually, the coffee's from Casey's General Store, but Brigida's Cafe is a nice little breakfast spot in St. Cloud that sometimes we frequent with my daughter's mother-in-law, who she's awesome. We love her. Okay, on YouTube, first in chat is Mr. JB gets the bell. Way to go. Also, good morning, Avocados Dabbly, Mike Savage Barg, Attack Alpaca. Good morning, also Zed the Snarky, Somnambule Nation. Good morning to Lord Stanhope, Attack Alpaca, GDSOB. Whoa, this really went down there. GDSOB. Now I'm scrolling. Is there anyone else here? I don't even know. It's all you guys have been chatting since we started rolling. Anyone? Let's see. That's it. Is that really it? That can't be right. That can't be right. It says there's, well, I guess there are only 16 people here, so that could be. Anyway, look, then tell people we're here. Go tell your friends, call your neighbors, hit your email your mom and your cousin, and then hit the Twitter and drop it there, and then put it on Reddit, and then put it on Facebook, and tell everyone to hear. We need more than 16 people here. We should have 50. Come on, let's go. All right. I'm sure that's on me. I don't know what to do. I've been, after 5.5 years of doing this, you'd think that there'd be more people here, but that's okay. I don't care. You know what? I have my friends. Y'all are my friends, and it doesn't stop me from doing this. Now, the other part too, I realized I didn't know it until I saw a little notification on my YouTube studio. I just had my 8th year anniversary on YouTube just a few days ago, and I didn't even commemorate that. I guess it's not a big deal, but who knows? So anyway, I've been on YouTube for 8 years. That's kind of cool, I guess. But only 5.5 of doing this particular show of the live streams, but still, that's a milestone, I guess. All right, let me set up the Q&A. Which will be on YouTube. If you want to do it on Rumble, you can just put question marks before and after the questions. But let's see. Friday Q&A. Ask me anything. And when I say anything, well, you know the rules. There really are no rules. Oh, so there we go. So there you go. And there we go. And there we go. Gunfox dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. We're 50% of the way there. 50% of the way there. Oh, another war report. Russia has problems. Okay, we'll definitely have to read that one. I saw something this morning about the Ukraine thing. And thank you for dropping filler in there, Avocados Diablo. Very much, very, very appreciated. All right, so there we go. Yeah, Russians having problems, and apparently there's a possible Putin may be asking for a ceasefire himself, which is odd because he's the one who started the conflict. But whatever. All right, let's. Oh no! What? Oh no! Okay, this is interesting. Okay, we'll get to that soon. All right, so. Jethro Hetero, how you doing? Good morning, and thank you. I appreciate you too. Also, Gunfox61, who is the grand poobah of administrating our Discord server. I was gonna say Grand Wizard, but that wouldn't be cool because I don't want to call you that. The grand poobah, like in the Flintstones, of the Buffalo Lodge. Y'all remember the Flintstones, right? Some of you do. Some of you are old enough to. Well, some of you probably old. There's a couple of you old enough that probably watched it when it was really on TV. But I grew up on the reruns of the Flintstones and the Jetsons and Gilligan's Island and Get Smart and the Brady Bunch. And well, actually, the Brady Bunch was still around when I was little, but they were new episodes, but they were kind of the hip mod Brady Bunch and not the goofy little kid Brady Bunch. But anyway, Torture for Marty. Yes, there you go. Yes, Grand Poobah of the Water Buffaloes. There you go, Somnambules Nation. You know what I'm talking about. We should just, you know what I should do? I should just cater to boomers and Gen Xers, which I kind of probably do because remember, I am the last boomer. You know that, right? I'm born in 1964 and I consider myself the last boomer because that's the transition year between boomers and Gen Xers. And I'm the last boomer, the very last one. Trust me on that. And so maybe I should just spend my whole time trying to get the boomers and Gen Xers on here. And then I would have a cast of millions watching this show. Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Good morning to you, sir. And you do watch most of those shows. You still watch most of those shows. Look, aren't those channels, isn't there channels dedicated to just old TV? I know, but there's a bunch of them out there. Amazing Disgrace, I miss Get Smart. Yeah, you know what? That was a really funny show. And even when I was a kid and you kind of understand most of the humor, that was a good show. I thought it was, it was a good show. And is it Barbara Feldon? Barbara Feldon, right? Was Agent 99. She was a fine individual. You know what I mean? She was quite the fine individual. Anyway, they all are on YouTube. Those are all great shows. In fact, trying to think of other shows. So, like, a lot of these shows were reruns. And I was a latchkey kid, and my sister was old enough that we could go home after school and, probably stay by ourselves until mom and dad got home. Because my parents were teachers. Well, and then my mother became a guidance counselor. So they got home not that much later than us. But, we'd come home and I'd plop down in front of the TV because the reruns after school. Well, Hawaii Five-0 was still on when I was a kid. Gun Fox and Kojak was still on when I was a kid. We were all young. I'm talking about if you're a 60s and 70s kid, like if you're the last boomer and up, like the last boomers and Gen X people, right? You know what reruns on TV are, because that's, like rerun, you'd only had 3 networks, right? It was kind of before cable became a real thing. And there's 3 networks, and you come home after school and they would have all these shows that came on after school that were reruns of like 60 stuff. So like, sometimes like the Dick Van Dyke Show on Saturdays, Bonanza would be one that they'd run reruns of. They would have but the ones I remember, I'd come home, you'd see Gilligan's Island, you'd see Get Smart, sometimes the Flintstones. Like, it just depends on which station you're watching. The Flintstones, Jetson was kind of Saturday rerun TV. Oh, yeah, My Three Sons was one. Courtship of Eddie's Father. Yeah, there you go. Those are other ones. I'm trying to think of other ones that I'd watch. Like, Courtship of Eddie's Father it wasn't on after school though. The Brady Bunch, they would do Brady Bunch reruns after school. Batman, yes, Batman, that was another one they'd do. Dobie Gillis, not so much. I had never heard of Dobie Gillis until I was in college, and they were playing reruns of Dobie Gillis, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Gilligan, right? Hello, Patio Furniture. And did I say hi to Rick and Amazing Disgrace? I don't know if I did. So anyway, I'm too busy raging at videos about Gen Z to watch retro TV. LOL. Yeah. Well, it depends on who's making the videos about Gen Z. Are the Gen Z people making the videos about Gen Z? Because there's a couple funny ones out there. All right. And did I say Jethro Hetero? I think I said hi to you. Well, good morning. All right, let's get into some stuff, because Gunfox dropped a couple links in here already. And also I wanted to get caught up on what's happening in the world. Now, first, let me thank a few people. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, for tweeting out the show, as you always do. Greatly appreciated. Jimmy Das Hotep, same to you, sir. And also those who retweeted mine, Jimmy Das Hotep and Zed the Snarky. Now, I told you, go share the stream. Oh, there's 26 people here now. Yeah, by the way, hit the like button. I don't know why that helps, but it does. So keep doing that. And if you want to sponsor the show, like Gunfox, or if you want to be the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, you got to be Gunfox, which is pretty hefty right now. But and whether or not, or the goal is all through Streamlabs. That's pdognight.live. That's the best place to do super chats here. Easiest for me to manage. You don't give too much money to YouTube because they get you. If you do a super chat, 30% goes to YouTube, which you're just paying Google and making Google get richer. So, if you do Streamlabs, you're either doing it through PayPal or you do it through a credit card, and then they don't take nearly as much. Same with, and even Rumble Rants, they don't take as much. Yes, amazing. Rick Ashburger, yes, Nick Ricada got arrested. Well, that'll be a topic today too. You did say hi, hello back, Marty. Okay, thank you. All right, let's let's get into a few topics today. Now, I didn't even pull out trending topics today. So I think what I'll do here real quick, let me just take one quick look at the Explore tab to see if there's anything that pops out that we haven't already considered. Let's see, trending topics. Super size. Oh, this is kind of sad. So y'all remember Morgan Spurlock? He's the dude. Let's see. I think I have an article about him too. Yeah, he's the guy who did Super Size Me. Where he ate McDonald's for, I don't know, X number of days. I remember how long he did it. But Morgan Spurlock has passed away. Oh, I didn't even do this yet. Here, let's do this. There we go. There's that. There we go. Morgan Spurlock. Uh-oh, this isn't working. Did I just freeze? No, I didn't. There's a transition. There we go. Morgan Spurlock, Super Size Me filmmaker, dead at age 53. This is kind of sad. Morgan Spurlock, the documentary filmmaker best known for Super Size Me, has died. He was 53 years old. He died Thursday night from complications of cancer. The Post can confirm. It was a sad day as we say goodbye to my brother Morgan. His brother Craig Spurlock said to the outlet, Morgan gave us so much through his art, ideas, and generosity. Today, the world has lost a true creative genius and a special man. I am so proud to have worked together with him, his brother. Born in 1970 in Parkersburg, West Virginia, Spurlock graduated from NYU's Tisch School of the Arts in 1993. He got a start in the entertainment industry as a playwright, winning awards for his 1999 play, The Phoenix, at the New York Fringe Festival. Before rising to fame, he also created and hosted the Gonzo web series Bet You Will, which paid contestants to do outrageous tasks for money, such as eating a full jar of mayonnaise. This show aired on both MTV and the now defunct Spike TV. His breakout project was his 2004 documentary, Super Size Me, which chronicled the changes to his health when he spent 30 days consuming only McDonald's food. It's a great way to take the edge off a very preachy subject, he told The Guardian in 2004. Spurlock was nominated for an Oscar that year for Best Documentary Feature, and he won the award for Best Director at the Sundance Film Festival. Following that experience, Spurlock told Civil Eats, I guess that's a website, in 2010, there are great films that are out there that deal with food, and I think there's a way I can help champion some of those other filmmakers. I'd rather do that than go into making another food movie. For me, movies have to be something that if you don't make them, then you are going to go crazy. If you don't tell the story, if you don't put it on a page, if you don't put it on film, then it's literally going to affect your brain from this moment forward, he went on. There may be something that comes along that kind of strikes me in a way, and if it does, I have to tell it. So his follow-up film was 2008's Where in the World is Osama bin Laden, in which Spurlock searched for the terrorists and visited countries impacted by his actions. Spurlock's other notable works included 2010 Freakonomics film, Based on the book of the same name. On TV, he had a CNN series, Morgan Spurlock Inside Man, which aired from 2013 to 2016, and the FX series 30 Days, which aired from 2005 to 2008, and followed people immersing themselves in unfamiliar lifestyles for a month. During that show, Spurlock himself tried to survive on minimum wage for 30 days. He followed up with the 2017 sequel, Super Size Me 2, Holy Chicken, which covered the way that fast food has attempted to rebrand itself as healthier. Holy shit. Anyway, and then this goes on. There's more in the article, but I'm going to stop there. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder how much all that just a month of McDonald's did. Money for eating a jar of mayonnaise. Why wouldn't I do that? It's easy money. I would. Well, it'd be. You might have a stomach ache, but whatever. Good morning, Shrapnel. By the way, good morning, Renee Mayette. Welcome to the show. And anyone else that I missed? I think I got everybody. So, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Was just a scam to get you to read the World Almanac. Changed my mind. Of course it was. It was a geography book for kids. That's what the game was about. That's exactly. Didn't you already? I thought everyone knew that. All right. Wait. Yeah, the U.S. paid millions, if not billions, in turning M60 patent tanks into coral reefs. Oh, did they now? Oh, I'm sure they did. That sounds plausible. Down in Florida, got interesting. Gun fact that you said that, because when we were in Florida, there's a beach in Key Largo. I can't remember the name of it though. Oh, it's called Cannon Beach, and it's a beach where there's several shipwrecks that they left intact, and they actually create other shipwrecks in order to create reefs. Now there's a natural in this area. This is also a place with one of the third largest natural coral reef in the world. But they've built reefs around wrecked ships, and if you go scuba diving there or snorkeling, you can see a bunch of the shipwrecks. So yes, they do that. They have places where they purposely put junk in the ocean to create new reefs for fish and other sea creatures. So that's interesting. All right, let's get into a couple of the articles that are already on the books. Thanks to Gunfox61 already taking over the show a little bit. Let's start with this one. Oh, that's not it. Where's the one? Here we go. This is an update on the story we did yesterday, I guess. And this is the BBC. Again, not the good kind. Telling you about what do China drills around Taiwan tell us. Okay. So it is day 2 of China's military drills in the skies and seas around Taiwan, and the latest exercises show how the People Liberation Army would surround the island on all sides by ships and aircraft, which they've done, which is fascinating. It's a rehearsal of how Beijing would take the island, as it has vowed to do repeatedly. China, by the way, I forgot to tell you,
China is asshole.
China has already set a new normal in the Taiwan Strait, steadily ramping up military pressure on the self-governed island. So what is different about these drills, and what do they tell us? They surrounded Taiwan with drills. I would have used military hardware. Well, you got to use what you're manufacturing the most of. No, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on, but from what Beijing has made public, the area covered by these drills are perhaps the biggest we've seen yet, and include much of the Taiwan Strait, the Bashi Channel, which separates Taiwan from the Philippines, and large swaths of the Pacific along Taiwan's east coast. Thursday's drills focus on encircling the island, simulating a full-scale attack minus the actual landing of troops. Taiwan military expert Che Chung says he thinks the inclusion of all of Taiwan's offshore islands demonstrates China's plan to eliminate facilities that could launch a counterattack against the PLA, which is the People's Liberation Army of China.
China is asshole.
He also thinks this 2-day drill will not be the last Taiwan will have to endure this year, hence the name Joint Sword 2024A. Now, I don't know if they wrote that out in English like that. Is that like the normal MOD or MO? What is it? Method of operation? MT method of operations? Whatever. Friday's footage shows the People's Liberation Army preparing for a mock strike on Taiwan's main cities and ports. A dramatic video released by the PLA's Eastern Command shows fleets of ships approaching Taiwan, accompanied by the words "push in, encircle, lock." This is crazy ominous. This is crazy. The whole of Taiwan is then highlighted in orange, presumably indicating total control. China has also released a video of the PLA colonel explaining the purpose of the drills in politically charged language. Quote, "As we can see, we have set two exercise area in the sea and airspace near the eastern part of the island, mainly at the block the escape of Taiwan independent separatists and break through for their comfort zone." Was that unnecessary? Was that an unnecessary accent I was using there? I don't know if that's correct. Anyway, hello, Rodline. It's the end of the world as we know it. Yes, it is. The island's eastern coast hosts crucial military infrastructure, and because of its proximity to Japan's southern islands, is also a reliable resupply route for Taiwan's allies, including the U.S. So here's this map. We saw this yesterday. I didn't see the green parts weren't on here. So, and this, oh, I see. The red is the area covered in the August 2022 drills. The green is the area covered in the May 2024 drills. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different sections versus just 6. Interesting. Anyway, but the reality is more prosaic. That's an interesting word to use. Yeah, MOS, yeah. Anyway, for China has released video of a group of Coast Guard ships approaching within 3 nautical miles of a Taiwan-controlled island called Wukui. This is a tiny rocky outcrop off the coast of Fujian. Its only occupants are seabird colonies and a small garrison of Taiwan soldiers. On Thursday, Taiwan's military defense recorded 49 Chinese aircraft, 19 naval ships, and 7 Coast Guard vessels close to Taiwan's territorial waters. The ships have largely been frigates or corvettes, which are smaller and carry a lighter weapon load. Now, why would they be driving corvettes on the water? They have special fat tires that float or some shit? Okay, I'm just kidding. There have been no sign of any Chinese heavy vessels, such as amphibious assault ships or aircraft carriers, taking part. A real invasion fleet would require much larger ships and much bigger numbers. The last time a major amphibious assault took place close to Taiwan was the U.S. invasion of Okinawa in 1944. That U.S. fleet had nearly 300 naval combatants, including 11 fleet carriers, large aircraft carriers, and hundreds of troop and supply ships. Thursday's military drill were accompanied by a tirade against the man that Beijing has said has triggered it all, William Lai, the island's new president. The Global Times had already cast him as, quote, arrogant, end quote, and, quote, reckless, end quote. And CCTV wrote that he will certainly be nailed to the pillar of shame in history and lambasted him for selling the two-nation theory because, you know, China says we're one nation and Taiwan is part of it. President Lai's alleged crime is that in his inauguration speech on Monday, he used the word China to describe China. Beijing says that in doing so, Mr. Lai revealed his true thinking that Taiwan is not China. Interesting. The tattoo on the bottom of his foot, it says made in Taiwan. That's funny. Beijing says that in doing so, Mr. Lai revealed his true thinking that Taiwan is not China and that they are two different countries. It is in their eyes an admission of his separatist ideology. To outsiders, this may all seem absurd, but for decades, Beijing and Taipei have obfuscated on their definitions of China and whether Taiwan is part of it. Even former President Tsai was careful to refer to China in euphemistic terms like the other side of the strait or the Beijing authorities. So China is not happy. China is just mainland Taiwan. Something like that. Now, some scholars in Taiwan will tell you that such language is important and that Mr. Lai has crossed a dangerous line. Others say Beijing's loathing for him was already set in stone and his speech was merely offered as a rhetorical justification for the latest round of intimidation. Most agree it doesn't change the basic fact that Xi Jinping wants China to control Taiwan, and the people of Taiwan emphatically do not. So, but no one in Taiwan is particularly surprised. To them, the Chinese Communist Party is rather predictable. When Mr. Lai's Democratic Progressive Party won a third consecutive presidential election here in early January, many wondered how and when Beijing would respond. The obvious assumption was that it would be after Mr. Lai's term was inaugurated with his first presidential address. So here we are, 4 days after President Lai's inauguration, and Beijing has issued a response by intimidating Taiwan. Just a reminder.
China is asshole.
Also worth noting is that so far, China has repeatedly crossed the median line, an unofficial border that is about 50 nautical miles out from both sides shore, but it is yet to ever cross the contiguous zone about 24 miles from Taiwan's shore. That would be seen as a major escalation, and it suggests that despite the aggressive rhetoric, Beijing is still being cautious. Now, I'd also venture to guess that our weakness and well, first of all, excuse me, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Yawning already. Here, I need some more coffee. I would think that Joseph Biden's kind of friendliness with China and the fact that his son does plenty of business in China and that the Democrats have always had little issues with China, like Chinese spies in Democrats, offices and driving their limousines. I think they are emboldened by the fact that Joe Biden is president and not somebody else with funny hair. So anyway, now, despite rancorous relations between Taiwan's ruling DPP, are you down with DPP? Yeah, you know me. And the opposition, they have been brawling in Parliament. The Chinese drills have brought all the parties together. The opposition, KMT, which has traditionally seen as being pro-China, has called for Beijing to show restraint. So everyone in Taiwan is on board, saying that this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Is this bullshit? It's bullshit. This is not the time when they want to be seen as being friendly to Beijing. So there's a strange irony here, though, one that shows how little China communist leaders understand Taiwan and its people. They have declared that the military operations are focused solely on deterring and defeating independence forces. Every time China turns up the military intimidation, support for the DPP, yeah, you know me, tends to rise. And that for the China-friendly KMT, the support for the China-friendly KMT falls. A more recent case in point, months of military incursions in the lead up to January's election put Mr. Lai in the top job. If the aim is to frighten the people of Taiwan into turning away from parties and leaders who challenge Beijing, so far it seems to be having the opposite effect. So there you go. That's a BBC update on the situation in China. All right. Let's see who else has showed up. I see unacceptable views is here, and I think that's about it, isn't it? Look, if you're watching the show on Rumble, and it says there's several of you doing that, say hi in the chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, do the same. Although it seems the numbers have gone down a little bit. Anyway, and also hit the like button. We're only at 14 likes. It should be at 90%, 95% by now. Okay, just hit the like button. All right, let's move on because Gunfox sent me a couple more, and then I'm going to go back to one of the ones that I opened. The next one here is, oh, wait, what happened to the other one? Oh, there, we'll say, oh, yeah, we'll do Mad on Blog List. In other military adventures around the world, Gunfox has sent me this little ditty. Top Russian military officials are being arrested. What? And why is this happening? Willie, what's up? Willie won't. No, I don't want you to go home. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. It began last month with the arrest of a Russian deputy defense minister. Then the head of the ministry's personnel directorate was hauled into court. This week, 2 more senior military officials were detained. All face charges of corruption, which they have denied. Now, I'm just curious. When they say they grab these military officers and charge them with corruption, what exactly does that mean in Russia? It could mean a whole lot different thing. Anyway, the arrest started shortly before President Vladimir Putin began his 5th term and shuffled his ally, longtime defense minister Sergei Shoigu, into a new post, then immediately raised questions about whether Putin was reasserting control over the defense ministry amid the war in Ukraine, whether a turf battle had broken out between the military and the security services, or whether some other scenario was playing out behind the Kremlin walls. Here's a look at what is behind the arrests and why they are happening. So first, they ask, how serious is corruption in Russia? Now, corruption scandals are not new, and officials and top officials. Wait a minute. Wait, what? So, why would they say officials and top officials? Aren't they all just officials? I mean, are there some special inner group of top officials? Corruption scandals are not new, and officials and top officials have been accused of profiting from their positions for decades. Oh, shocker. Corruption in the Eastern Bloc country? I just can't believe it. Graft in Russia functions as both a carrot and a stick. It's a way of encouraging loyalty and urging people to be on the same page, as well as a method of control, said Sam Green, director of Democratic Resilience. Wait a minute. Democratic Resilience at the Center for European Policy Analysis. Okay. Putin wants everyone to have a skeleton in their closet. The jokes could just write themselves. Security expert Mark Galeotti said in a recent podcast, if the state has compromising material on key officials, it can cherry pick whom to target. See? Yes, just like, and then they can disappear them in pictures. Now, corruption is the essence of the system, said Nigel Gould Davies, a senior fellow at the International Institute for Strategic Studies in London. The war in Ukraine has led to ballooning defense spending that has increased opportunities for graft. Oh, so they're like skimming. That's what they mean. Like, hello, TC, by the way. Former deputy defense minister. This is they're going into who was arrested. Former deputy defense minister Timur Ivanov, the first official arrested in April and the highest ranking one so far, oversaw large military-related construction projects with access to vast sums of money. Those projects included rebuilding Ukraine's destroyed port city of Mariupol. The team headed by the late opposition leader Alexei Navalny alleged that Ivanov, 48, and his family owned elite real estate, enjoyed lavish parties and trips abroad. Even after the invasion, they also alleged that Ivanov's wife, Svetlana, divorced him in 2022 to avoid sanctions and continue living in luxury. Putin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Thursday the recent arrests are not a campaign against corruption, but rather reflect ongoing activities in all government bodies. But they're arresting more and more. Peskov and Ivanov were once part of an embarrassing episode caught on camera. Navalny's team has shared 2022 images of the Kremlin spokesman celebrating at a birthday party for Ivanov's former wife. In the video, Peskov, with Ivanov at his side, is seen wearing a watch estimated to cost $85,000. Now, I know that being in the military can be lucrative, but a military official wearing an $85,000 watch. When will Putin arrest himself? That's a good question. Hello, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
In April, the investigative committee, Russia's top law enforcement agency, reported Ivanov is suspected of taking an especially large bribe. Shocker. A criminal offense punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Since then, other arrests on bribery charges have included Lieutenant General Yuri Kuznetsov, head of the Defense Ministry's Personnel Directorate, Major General Ivan Popov, a career soldier and former top commander in Ukraine, and Lieutenant General Vadim Shamarin, Deputy Chief of the Military General Staff. Shamarin is a deputy to Valery Gerasimov, Chief of the General Staff. A fifth ministry official was reportedly arrested Thursday, Vladimir Verdeletsky, from the the Defense Procurement Department. He was charged with abuse of office that resulted in damages worth over 70 million rubles, which is about $776,000. And also, the deputy head of the Federal Prison Service for the Moscow region, Vladimir Telyev, was arrested Thursday on charges of large-scale bribery, according to Russian reports. So they're just they're arresting people left and right in the middle of a war. So the arrest suggests that really egregious corruption in the defense ministry will no longer be tolerated, said Richard Connolly, a specialist in the Russian economy at the Royal United Services Institute in London. Shortly after his inauguration, Putin replaced Shoigu as defense minister with Andrei Belozov, an economist. Peskov said Russia's increasing defense budget must fit into the wider economy. So, does this go on and on? Oh my God, it goes on and on. This is an AP article too. So Russia's defense budget is 6.7% of gross domestic product. That is a level not seen since the Soviet era. There's a view that this needs to be spent more wisely, Connolly said. Before his death in a still mysterious plane crash last year, mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin led a brief rebellion against the country's military leadership, saying it mismanaged the war and denied weapons and ammunition to his forces. And he died in a plane crash? Gee, I can't imagine. If you start questioning the wisdom of your country's mission and whatnot, and then your plane crashes. Wow, what a coinkydink. So Belosov's appointment is a grudging recognition from the Kremlin that it has to pay attention to these problems, said Gould Davis. It's also critical the war is managed correctly because Russia's economy depends on it. Russians are earning higher salaries driven by the booming defense sector. While that has created problems with inflation, it allows Putin to keep delivering on promises to raise living standards. So Green said the government needs to keep the war going in order to keep the economy going, but it also must ensure the costs and corruption are not higher than needed. So not higher than needed. So they need the corruption and the cost, but they just can't be higher than needed. So because corruption is, part of the drill in Russia, I guess. So anyway, it seems like they're cleaning out I see. Connolly said it's also possible that Belosov, the new defense minister, is clearing out his predecessor's associate and sending the message that things are going to be done differently. Other changes include Deputy Defense Minister Yuri Sadavenko, who was replaced by Oleg. Okay, I don't care who was replaced by who. Let's see if there's anything else. Now, some say it could be a turf battle, too. It's unclear whether the Kremlin or Russian security services, particularly the State Security Service or FSB, are the driving force behind the arrest. It's possible that officials sufficiently distant from Putin could have been caught in the middle of a turf war unconnected to the appointment of the new defense ministers. The security services, Green said, could be trying to push back against the military's dominance since Putin ordered the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. So then they just kind of inquiry to the likely of more arrests. So not as all not as all hunky dory over in Ukraine. And also, like I said, I saw an article earlier today that I didn't bookmark that says Putin is considering a sort of a ceasefire. Let me see. Maybe I did save that. Did I? And I did not. Okay, never mind. All right, so there you go. Thank you, Gun Fox. That's the second article. 2 down, 1 to go. And of course, it is an article, editorial from MSNBC's Maddow blog. Yes, this will be the head exploding inducing article. Maybe, possibly, who knows? This is Steve Bannon from Maddow blog. Yeah, Russia's doing Russian shit, right? I don't want to jinx the stream, but I'm still going, aren't I? Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. It could always still screw up later. All right, so apparently Tommy Tuberville, the senator from Alabama, that is from Alabama, wants people to believe the unemployment rate was better during Donald Trump's term than Joe Biden's. That's demonstrably ridiculous. Now, before I even start reading this article, I never trust the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, on their employment numbers. I don't necessarily believe them on the inflation numbers. But because whenever, as we know, we've documented this, during Democratic presidencies, employment numbers are always inflated in their initial reporting and then almost always revised down to worse, down or worse, when they have the actual numbers 30 days later, right? Because they always announce the employment numbers before they have the actual numbers. I don't know why they do this. Why don't they just wait till they have the actual numbers? But they say it's a number, but it's actually an estimate. And then later they revise it to get the more accurate. And whenever it's a Democrat, they're always higher, as in total numbers of employed people, and the initial reporting, and they're always revised down. When it's Republican president, and it's I mean, literally, this is like clockwork. They will give you a number, and the numbers will always be revised to be better 30 days later. Go figure why that is. I don't know. So that brings us to this article about Tommy Tuberville. Senator Tommy Tuberville appeared on Fox Business yesterday morning and continued to express great confidence in Donald Trump's presidential campaign. But part of the Alabama Republicans' pitch could use some work. Quote, the employment number rates in all people in our country are very, very low under Donald Trump. Now, but not under this president. Everybody's looking for a way to get a job. End quote. He didn't appear to be kidding. And this is Aaron Rupar showing this clip, and I'm not going to play it. Look, and then it continues. Look, no administration is perfect, and there are plenty of legitimate criticisms for President Joe Biden's detractors to present to the public. But as anyone with a passing familiarity with current events really ought to know, this isn't one of them. Indeed, it's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of reality. Well, it always depends on who's fudging the numbers. Anyway, as regular readers know, over the course of the first 3 years of Trump's presidency, when the Republicans said the United States economy was the greatest in the history of the planet, the economy created nearly 6.4 million jobs spanning all of 2017, 18, and 19. According to the latest tally, the U.S. economy has created nearly 16 million jobs since January 2021. Oh, my God. They're going with that Biden lie that he keeps telling over and over. More than double the combined total of Trump's first 3 years. Yes, but, oh, my God. Let's see if they even mention the pandemic. This is crazy. Let's see if they even mention the pandemic. As for the unemployment, no, they go right into the unemployment rate. Gee, I wonder what happened in 2020 that would have caused surge in jobs in the first year of the Biden administration. You mean when they shut down everyone from their jobs and most people took That's the other thing. Okay, so when a lot of people go during the pandemic, instead of like suspending or whatever, so they had to pay people, a lot of companies just laid people off, right? So the unemployment rate was based on all these people not being able to work during the pandemic. And then when they started hiring them back after Biden got in office, they're counting those as new jobs. Those aren't new jobs. And it's not 16 million. Where did they come up with 16 million? Last number we heard, it was 13 million, right? But 9.4 billion of those were people returning to old jobs for like an anemic less than 100,000 people per month. Now that's pathetic. That's amazing. Anyway, he continues. As for the unemployment rate, which the coach turned politician specifically referenced on the air, the Trump era numbers were good, but Biden era numbers are definitely better. Unless you talk about real wages. In 2017, the average unemployment rate for the year was 4.4%. A year later, the average improved to 3.9%. In 2019, it improved a little more, with the average jobless rate for the year 3.7%. In 2020, of course, the COVID pandemic led to a recession. The unemployment rate spiked to nearly 15%, and the average for the year climbed to 8.1%. Oh, so are you going to mention that those jobs, the so-called Biden jobs created, weren't created then? Let's see. We'll keep reading. In Biden's first year in the White House, the unemployment rate rapidly improved. Because why? Because people started going back to work after the pandemic. From 6.4% in January to 3.9% in December. In 2022, the average for the year improved to 3.6%. A year later, it remained at 3.6%. In fact, in April 2023, the jobs rate fell all the way to 3.4%, a level unseen in the United States since before the moon landing. What's more, the unemployment rate has now been below 4% for 27 consecutive months, a streak also unseen since the 1960s. And now they're going to raise taxes on everybody. If Tuberville wants to have a debate about how and why we're seeing these numbers, that's fine. If he wants to discuss who deserves credit for encouraging economic data, we can do that too. But to argue out loud on national television that the unemployment rate isn't low under Biden and that it was actually better under Trump is demonstrably ridiculous. Now, yes, they are correct that Tommy Tuberville is incorrect, because what is being reported, they're right. What's been reported is that the unemployment rate came back down to where Trump got it to, or not, I wouldn't even say Trump got it to, where the economy got it to, the country got it to. And it has remained low ever since. And these are very low unemployment rates on paper, the way they write them. Now, I'm not so sure how many people are picking up extra jobs to pay for all the bills. People are not gaining anything wealth-wise, because the real wages are down because of the fact that inflation has been so high. When we say real wages, we just mean the comparison of wages to cost of living. And everyone's buying power is lower now. So but I guess he is accurate. The actual numbers that the government gives you, yes, they're better than they were during most of Trump's time. So there you go. I'll give him that. I'll give him that part. But boy, oh boy, that creating 16 million jobs. Oh my God, that's the stupidest shit I hear every time they open their mouths. All right, let's I have a few other articles open. Let's just do a couple quick hits here. One, as you know, Donald Trump had a rally in the Bronx yesterday. Now, in the morning, AOC, I don't have these here, but it was raining in the morning, and AOC was saying something like, "Oh my gosh, there is a God. We know that this rain's going to ruin Trump's rally." Well, it cleared up pretty quickly, and they had a nice, fairly sunny day. And so Trump had a rally in the Bronx, and What's interesting, and I'll just scroll slowly. You know, you never really know how many people actually were there, but there were lines. There were lines for blocks and blocks and blocks to get into this rally. And so I'm just going to scroll through this Bronx, search tag, whatever. So here's one example of Trump in the Bronx. This is this video. Is there music? Probably. Yeah, we'll skip the music. Just showing you that this is a video of someone walking just down the line of people waiting to get into the Trump rally. And but what's amazing, well, now the Bronx is mostly Black and Latino. And there's quite a few Black and Latino people in this line, but there are a lot of white people in the line too. So I don't know if that's every white person in the Bronx or not, but it is quite the long line. Okay, this video goes on for 1:14 of this person just walking down the line, of people waiting to get into the rally. Okay, I'll scroll a little bit more. There's several little interviews like this. Savannah Hernandez went around and interviewed a lot of people. Here's a gentleman waiting in line to go see the spectacle. Here we go. And look, I'll tell you what. By the way, there's some really angry Democrats about this whole thing, and they're poo-pooing this whole thing. But here's one of the people that was going to the rally.
What are you here for?
I'm here to watch the Trump gathering rally here.
What do you think about him being here?
I think it's great. I think it's dope. From my generation, from what I know, this is the first time president has actually came to the hood. I know presidents have came to the Bronx before, but we're talking about Woodlawn, Riverdale. He has came to Morrisania, South Bronx, the hood. So I respect that.
What are you here for?
Okay. Oh, Ricada's arraignment 10:45 today, 10:45 our time. So in 15 minutes, I guess it's not time for me to get to the courthouse there. Yeah, that I will get to that in a minute. I'm going a little bit longer today. I don't have a post gig today, so if you're wondering why I haven't got to Q&A, don't worry. We will do Q&A today. So get your questions in Q&A. All right, so there's that. Let's see what else we got here. Here's another one. Watching Democrats have a meltdown over the Trump rally in the Bronx is glorious. What's this 8-second video? We'll just show the video here. Is this big enough? Maybe here, we'll just make it a little bit bigger there. Here we go. Let's see what this one is. This is only 8 seconds.
We need Trump here. That's why I'm voting for him. We want change. We want the city red again.
Go Trump!
Go Trump. Thank you, guys. We need.
Okay, that's interesting. Also, Byron Donalds was at the rally, the congressman from Florida, and I think he was channeling his desire to mug Jussie Smollett by saying,
important right now to let all of New York know that the Bronx is now MAGA country.
"This is MAGA country." I wonder if you. All right. So anyway, now I don't think there were really 25,000 people. Some people say there were 25,000 people there. I'm going to skip her because that's not from the rally. Here's another person at the rally. This is a person who was already for Trump. This person was already for Trump, but I think she's going to talk about a certain congresswoman from the area.
Then we have the illegals flooding
Oh,
our
no,
borders.
never mind.
Coming into our communities, sucking up the resources that we barely have.
Uh-oh. She bad.
Why? Why should we allow this to happen? Every last person here needs to rise up and get fighting mad. Get fighting mad. And make sure that you're registered to vote and go out there and you vote up and down the line, not just the presidency. The local elections are more important than the presidency. Get rid of AOC. Vote her ass out.
Oh, my. In the middle of the Bronx.
Get rid of Richie Torres.
In the middle of
Vote
Bronx.
his ass out.
Woo! This is the Bronx.
I have nothing to lose. So I can stand up here and I can say this. None of you here are paid to be here. She got on color TV to this morning and said that Trump busted in these people and paid everyone out here. Who here got paid to be here today? Or are you here because you know that this is the time in history that you're in the right place at the right time and you need to be here today?
All right, so there you go. That's some fiery stuff. Trump supporters are amazing people. The Bronx is rocking today. There's some performers out there. Here's another one. Let's see. New Bronx voters clap back at AOC after she blasted Donald Trump for holding a rally in the Bronx. Here's people talking shit about AOC. Now, I'm concerned about the red hair here, but here we go.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx. Right. What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump. You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump. I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
Oh. Who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
Where are you from?
All right, that's fascinating. So there are people from the Bronx there. So that's AOC lied. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I don't need to see her. What happened to my Bronx? There we go. We'll do one more. Oh wait, I do got to do this one though, because there's a couple. It's interesting to watch the networks talk about this rally in the Bronx. And where is it? Oh, I must close that one. Here's an interesting article from CBS News though, and I find this funny because the people CBS News did a poll on the trial in Manhattan of Donald Trump, the Bragg trial, the hush money trial, right? So they put this out on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, today. CBS News poll: most Americans believe Donald Trump is definitely or probably guilty of a crime in his New York criminal case. Now, that's to me, that's a hilarious headline. Most Americans believe Donald Trump is definitely or probably guilty of a crime in his New York criminal case. Now, this is I opened the article with the same exact headline, right? And they have this. Well, here's the report on CBS News. Let's watch this. Look at this report. Now listen to this.
As you are no doubt aware, former President Trump's criminal trial in New York is set for closing arguments next week. Former president says he doesn't believe the upcoming verdict, whatever it will be, will have any impact on the presidential race. New CBS News poll is revealing more about what Americans actually think about the case, the facts.
Now, let's just stop there for a minute. What they think about the case. How many of these people that they polled have read the transcripts of the case? And I'm talking about people who say he's probably guilty of a crime, people say he's not guilty, whatever. When you take a poll of people on a trial that's going on, how many people are actually paying attention to the trial closely, not listening to the talking heads on MSNBC or CBS or Fox News or whatever, but actually going in and looking at what's happening in the trial, either, finding someone who's reporting on it word for word or going back and looking at transcripts? Probably none. So first of all, the idea that, most believe Trump is probably guilty of a crime. So what? What do you mean probably? That's not definitive. Anyway, let me keep playing this report here.
And what may happen. CBS News Deputy Director of Elections and Data Analytics.
And first of all, who cares what the poll says? There's only one poll that matters, and that's the jury. But anyway.
Kabir Khanna joins us now. Kabir, so tell us, what do we know that we...
I said Albin bragged. I didn't say flag. I said brag. It must be my accent.
You did know maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Good to be with you, Major. So I want to share 3 quick things from our brand new CBS News poll ahead of jury deliberations next week.
What?
The first is that across the country, most Americans believe Donald Trump is guilty of a crime in New York City.
What? Okay. Of a crime. What crime specifically? How many of those people can tell you even what the charge is, what the crime is, what the predicate for the misdemeanor turning it into a felony is, what felony supposedly, or what crime did he supposedly commit that causes the misdemeanor to become a felony? Nobody fucking knows. They're just saying, oh, he's probably guilty of a crime. Because the media has been just relentless in saying that he's guilty, basically. Hello, Scrappy. Hello, Ryan himself. What's up? All right.
One thing I want to emphasize, though, is that not everyone's sure of this opinion. If you look at the top 2 rows here, it's a combined 56% who think Donald Trump's at least probably guilty of a crime. But of
based
course,
on what?
Number 37%.
Wait a minute. If your question is he's probably guilty of a crime, then you don't know what you're talking about. Because you didn't watch trial. So this is insane.
Say that he's definitely guilty. So some uncertainty here, which isn't surprising given that not everyone's following every twist and turn in this case and in this story. The second thing you should know is that...
The second thing you know is they probably have no idea what he's being charged with. They don't know. All they hear is hush money. As if hush money were illegal. And it's not. The non-disclosure agreement is not the part of the trial that he's being tried for. That's the other part. He's being tried because how it was categorized in their business records. Okay? Not the agreement itself. The agreement itself is 100% legal. So he's being charged because the accountants at the Trump Organization filed it under legal expenses because Michael Cohen sent them invoices for legal expenses and reimbursement. So if your lawyer, let's say your lawyer does some work for you, right? Well, first of all, you owe him what you would pay him to be the lawyer, and then you would reimburse him for any expenses along the way, right? So in this case, the reimbursement was $130,000, and anything above that was what they paid him for doing the legal work, which was creating a non-disclosure agreement and getting the hoe to sign it. Okay, that's what they're and what they're saying is because they categorized it as legal expenses as opposed to campaign finance expenses, which it wasn't part of the fucking campaign, but that's what they're trying to tell you. That because it would be a campaign finance violation, which the federal government hasn't charged him with. A campaign finance violation is a misdemeanor, but in New York, if you're doing so-called falsifying a business record to cover up another crime, the other crime, even though it's a misdemeanor as not a criminal act, it's a civil crime. It's not a criminal crime. The city of New York can make your business records falsification, which is normally a misdemeanor, into a felony. And so for 34 checks, they count each one as a felony. That's the counts that they're trying to charge Donald Trump on. Now, I would bet that 98.9.6245% of the people that they polled on this is Trump guilty of a crime in the New York case could explain what I just explained very poorly. So, is Trump guilty of a crime? I don't know. I have no idea what he's being charged with. That should be the only answer that 98.62493% of the people who answered this poll should have said. I have no idea. I don't know what he's being charged with. All right, let's finish this stupid report.
Views are highly partisan, and maybe that's not very surprising.
That's
either.
because
So
Democrats
nearly all
want him guilty and in jail for whatever he does, for brushing his hair the wrong way.
Democrats say that Donald Trump's at least probably guilty, and of them, most of them say he's definitely guilty. Independents are much more split, and about 8 in 10 Republicans take the opposite view, saying Donald Trump's probably or definitely not guilty. They are a little bit less unified in that position than Democrats are in theirs.
Yeah, that 22% are the Lincoln Project.
Thing I want to show you is what people think will happen starting next week. So we asked them, what do you think the jury will decide in this case? Will they convict Donald Trump or acquit him? And the main thing you see is people are a lot less sure about this than they are in their own opinions about
That's because
his guilt
they
or
don't
innocence.
even know what he's guilty of.
Half
They don't know what he's guilty of. That's why. They don't know. The jury hasn't even been told yet. The jury in this case, if you followed this trial, they still haven't been told what the underlying crime is that the business record falsification would need to become a felony. They have not been told in this trial. They're not going to be told until summation. So, and if you've apparently the jury instruction in this case is not going to be specific about that even. So the jury can decide which crime which crime you can count to make this into a felony. But they haven't been told which crimes are the possibilities. So they're not going to be told until closing arguments, and they get to pick and choose. They don't have to be unified in this. Now, you would think that if Alvin Bragg is going to charge somebody with a specific crime, the records falsification crime, and turn it into a felony because it's tied to another crime, you would think that they would very specifically lay out what the other crime is and prove that that even happened, because he hasn't been charged with any other crime.
Half the country, if you add the top two rows, 52%, say that the jury probably or definitely will find Donald Trump guilty.
Idea.
But overall, much more people take these middle two positions, saying that they might find him guilty, they might find him not guilty, but they're not entirely sure, Major.
Excellent, as always.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Major Garrett.
Much.
That was an excellent report.
Thunderstorms, damaging winds.
Which means absolutely fucking nothing. A poll about whether he's going to be guilty or not. They don't fucking know. All right. I went... That got a little, I went a little overboard there. So anyway, all right, I'm not going to, there's a few other articles that'll be in the links today, but I'm going to go to Q&A and then we're going to get done out of here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a drum roll, but here, it's time for Q&A. Woohoo! Shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and. Is it on 1, 2, 3 here? All right, let me refresh this so I can put a separate Q&A pop-out screen here. Give me one moment. There we go. And pop out today. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Friday Q&A. I'm going to get rid of this here because this is hopefully it remains unnecessary for the rest of the show. And let's open up Q&A. All right, it's question time on the Morning Night Live. So if you have questions still, you can always ask me questions. Ask me anything. They could be real questions. They could be silly questions. There could be, I didn't talk about Rekieta. His arraignment's probably happening as we speak. And in fact, let me see if, let me just check. I may come back to that after Q&A. It's a sad story. So Nick Rekieta, if you didn't know, he was arrested. His wife was arrested, and they're woman who's living with them, who's a wife of a friend of theirs, who also streams on YouTube and whatnot. They were arrested on drug possession charges, possessing a firearm while under the influence of drugs, and all sorts of things. And Nick, I just disclosure, Nick and I are, I wouldn't say we're friends, but he's been on my show. We're friendly. He's a good guy. I've met Kayla and they're nice people, but he's been going through some really just a lot of shit lately. And you can see, he's been struggling obviously with alcohol and whatever. And on his stream the other night, apparently, left the stream for a while. It was only on Rumble. It wasn't on YouTube, but still, he left the stream for a while, came back looking like he'd done a lot of meth or something. I don't know. He was fucked up. Let's just put it that way. And he didn't realize the stream is on, and he's probably jerking off or whatever. And it was just not a good scene. And then he and his wife and the person who lived with them got arrested. They have 5 kids too that live in the home with them, and it's not a good scene. It really is not. And his friend Aaron, whose wife is living with Nick, or I guess ex-friend, there's videos out here telling how much coke Nick has done and how he got his ex-wife hooked on it. There's a lot of stories going around, and it's tragic. He needs to have, probably needs to have an intervention or something. He needs to go into rehab. There have been people who offered to help him, but there's a lot of there's lots of things going on, and you can certainly just look up his name and go through X and see the different people talking about him. Some people are celebrating his downfall, which is fucked up. Some people are his friends are highly concerned for him. And all I can do is pray for him. He's going to be going through a rough time for a while. This is going to be really bad as far as I can see. And he's already in this stupid, civil lawsuit with whatever that dickhead's name is. So anyway, if you're interested, you can look that up. I'm not going to go through it. Let's go to Q&A. All right. Now, thank you for the filler, Avocados Diabli. First question of the day, actual question, is from Lord Stanhope. It says, how did I get here? Well, Lord Stanhope, I do have an answer for this. Here, let me do something here real quick. Just give me a moment. I'm going to answer the question, but I'm going to make it, let's see. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. Lord Stanhope asks, how did I get here? Perfect. Lord Stanhope, to answer the question, how did I get here? A long, long time ago, a man and a woman probably met in a bar or a church or something. And that man and woman eventually became your mommy and daddy. And when a man and a woman love each other, well, eventually they begin to do things that we wouldn't want to talk to grandma about. I'll just tell you, this is like they're in the back of the car, they're in the bathroom of the airplane, they're all over the place. But if one of those times there was, something came out and went in and got together and stuck together, and that's how you got here. There you go. That's the answer to your question, Lord Stanhope. That's how you got here, and I'm sticking to my answer. All right, turn that music off. Okay, there you go. All right. Avocados Diabli says, if when I stare into the abyss and it stares back, does that mean it would be easy for you to sneak into the abyss's house and steal its shit while it's distracted? Can I phone a friend on that one? I really don't know a whole lot about the abyss. I'm just saying. I'm not an expert on the abyss. Now, there's a movie called The Abyss, but I don't think that would tell you whether or not you could steal the abyss's shit. So, I'm just going to say, yeah, that would be good timing. There you go. Avocados Diabli asks, is it a vegetable? No. Avocados Diabli asks, is it a mineral? Yes. Lord Stanhope asks, greatest TV show of all time. Woo-hoo. Wow. The greatest TV show of all time. I'm going to ask people in the chat to give your own answers. I would venture to say that the greatest TV show of all time might be the A-Team. No, I didn't skip any questions. Oh, I did. How'd that happen? I'm gonna have to go back up to the top. I did skip a question, didn't I? Okay, I got you. I would say the A-Team might be the greatest TV show of all time, rivaled by, well, it depends if you mean network TV or just TV in general, because I think what's the one where the medical examiner is also a serial killer? Dexter? I think that was pretty good too. Why I'm going from Dexter to the A-Team, I don't know. Here's some good answers though. Babylon 5, yeah, that's not bad. Simpsons, yeah, The Simpsons, that's a good one. Although Married with Children, I think I like better than The Simpsons. I think Married Children was brilliant. It was so bad, but it was brilliant. Living Signal, no. Dynasty, no. Honeymooners, that's could be in there. MASH is probably, if you ask the critics, MASH would probably be one. Star Trek TOS, maybe. Twilight Zone was really good. MASH and the A-Team were pretty dope. I was actually joking about the A-Team, although it was a pretty good show. It's like kitschy. Rockford Files, no. Quincy, no. They're good shows, and I watched them both, but they're not the greatest of all time. McCloud. Wait, Kolchak the Night Stalker. Or there was this, the Night Stalker. Oh, Beretta with Robert Blake. That was pretty good. I was a Starsky and Hutch guy, too. Anyway, Married with Children. All right, you guys can keep answering that in the chat. Martin. Wait, now you're just naming all the black shows. I saw you put Living Single up here. You got Martin down here. What's the one with Family Matters? That's the one with Urkel. Zeta Warrior Princess. Oh, okay, that's it. That's it. That's the only one. That's the winner. We have a winner, people. All right, the question that I skipped. So what would it... oh, no. You know what? I thought of another one, too. Night Court. I thought Night Court was brilliant. Okay. All right. Avocados Diabli asks, so what would it take to convince you Whitney Houston was the Yoko Ono of New Edition? Oh. Except I thought... I could have sworn that Whitney Houston didn't come around until after Bobby Brown left New Edition. Was she? And no, God, nobody is the Yoko Ono of anything. Yoko Ono was a weirdo. I mean, at least Whitney was just a drug addict. All right, moving on. Avocados Diabli, have you mentioned any of the drama in Ohio over Biden being not on the ballot on the show at all. I can't remember. No, I did not mention that. That story kind of blossomed yesterday. So Joe Biden apparently was not on the ballot in Ohio for whatever reason. And the part of the problem in Ohio is they have a law that you must be on the ballot by a certain date to be in the race for the president in the general election. And the Democratic National Committee was very adamant about wanting to have their convention after the Republican National Convention. So they scheduled a date that was after the deadline in Ohio. So yesterday, Mike DeWine, the Republican governor of Ohio, called a special session to make sure that Joe Biden would be on the ballot, because unlike Colorado and Maine and all these states trying to get Trump off the ballot, Mike DeWine wanted to be fair and make sure that the Democratic nominee was on the ballot in Ohio. Since he's the presumptive nominee, there's very unlikely that there be anyone else. So Mike DeWine has called a special session in Ohio. So there you go. Yes, Whitney Houston is a talented singer, unlike Yoko Ono. That's true. Yoko Ono and Whitney Houston don't even compare. Right, they do not at all. All right. Anyway, that's what that story is all about. Avocados Diabli asks, is it bigger than a bread basket? Yeah. Okay, you keep asking. Oh, I see. You're asking like questions like we're trying to figure out. He's playing. When you ask 20 questions of what something is? Is it a card? Oh, I see what we're doing. And then is it a cardboard box full of your yellow cake uranium? No, it's not. Avocados Diabli. If you slept unbeknownst to you, or if as you slept, unbeknownst to you, the self-repeating. Here we go again. If as you slept, unbeknownst to you, the self-repeating Frankenance switched your butt cheeks, how long, if ever, do you think it would take to notice? Now, when you say switched your butt cheeks, are you saying physically removed your butt cheeks and switched the sides? Or do you mean a horde of self-repeating Frankenants grabbed a switch from a tree that you didn't choose on your own because your parents didn't make you choose it, even though sometimes they would, and they decided to use that switch to redden your bottom? If it were the latter, I would absolutely notice. If it were the former, well, I would probably be dead because I would have bled to death while they were trying to switch the butt cheeks. So I hope that answers your question in a very unglorious way. All right. Avocados Diabli asks, if you could build your harem, assuming Lady Boomer would not end you, with pre-80s starlets as they were, not are now, who would it be? Well, how many pre-80s starlets are we talking here? Because, and how far pre? For example, let's say we're in the 70s starlets. Okay. Well, I think a lot of people would have chosen Farrah Fawcett for that hair, right? And then there was, who was the woman that, Lola Falana. She was pretty hot. Let's see, who else? Debbie, well, not Debbie Harry. I didn't really like Debbie Harry. Hello, Anon. 1, 2, 3. Hello, stopping by to say hi and then off to yesterday's stream to catch up. Yeah, yesterday's stream was interesting. Julie Newmar. Yeah, that'd be one. When someone said something about Batwoman or Batgirl or something up there. Julie Newmar, or she was Catwoman at one point. Elizabeth Montgomery, Bewitched. She was kind of hot. Let me think here. Who was Diane Carroll? Like 60s Diane Carroll. She was a fine individual. Most of the women on any of Captain Kirk's conquest on Star Trek, sure. Yvonne Craig, who is that? I don't know who that is. Let me think. Barbara Feldman, I already mentioned her. Get Smart, she was a fine individual. Trying to think who else. I don't know. That'd be a good start. That'd be a really good start. Okay. All right. Let me see where we're at here. Oh, that was the harem. Lord Stanhope asks, if you, oh my God, if you just, okay. I'm just warning you. This question's a bit concerning. Oh, Yvonne Craig was Batgirl. Okay, gotcha. Oh, Adrienne Barbeau. Oof, 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 oof. And Pam Grier, young Pam Grier. Woo! We're talking. There's a theme going on that in those two. Okay, let's see here. Here's the one that. Okay, just bear with this question. Lord Stanhope asks, if you decided to indulge in cannibalism, where would you start? Probably somewhere in New Guinea. Because look, if you're going to indulge in cannibalism, you might want to do it with people who are experiencing cannibalism. And so I know you meant something else, but because if you're going to start cannibalism, you might want to talk to the people who already are used to cooking that kind of a meal and join them in that. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, where am I at here? Avocados Diablo asks, which was the superior, Rod Serling Endeavor, Twilight Zone? Oh, which is the superior Rod Serling Endeavor, Twilight Zone or Night Gallery? Oh, that's tough. See, look, Twilight Zone, by far the more known, popular, enduring of the two endeavors. So I would have to say Twilight Zone, although Night Gallery was pretty damn good too. Avocados Diablo asks, do you think the mainstream media will ever inform the general public about the danger that is the self-repeating Franken-ants, or have they already chosen a side? Well, the mainstream media is clearly on the side of the self-repeating Franken-ants because they refuse to report the great damage that they do. So we already know the answer. All right, Lord Stanhope asks, what geometric shapes give you nightmares? The spiky ones. Avocados Diablo, on a medical questionnaire, I saw, quote, have you ever needed an ultrasound to locate a vein for an IV, end quote. Really nice way of asking, are you a massive fat ass? I think so. Yeah, that seems like that kind of seems like that would be it. Have you ever needed an ultrasound to locate a vein for an IV? No, I have really good veins. I don't know that. Yeah, you would have to be pretty hefty for that. Lord Stanhope asks, which is worse, coming home and catching the wife taking a BBC, or coming home and catching the wife watching the BBC, and she wants you to watch with her? Look. I look. I certainly could suffer through watching the BBC. Sorry, that's a funny question with no good answer. Lord Stanhope, oh, who is better, DeWalt or Milwaukee? You know, That's tough. And unfortunately, most of my tools are what's the green one? I have them right upstairs. I don't have any Milwaukee tools. I do have a DeWalt drill. But most of my those green battery powered things, which I can't even think of the names of them right now. Taking the BBC, you get target practice after you call a lawyer. Or after you call a lawyer. Yeah, that's not doing it. My guess is that the Milwaukee tools are probably the better quality tools overall. So who knows? All right. Avocados Diablo asks, did you screw up Q&A at all? Well, yeah, I have in the past. I already did today because I skipped a question, but I went back to it. Oh, Porter Cable? No, Milwaukee tools. Have the reputation as far as I know, but I don't know. I have a bunch of Ryobi tools. No, Ryobi is not the dark green. That's Makita. I have a lot of Ryobi battery powered tools. Although I do have a sander that's corded. But I don't think Ryobi is probably the best brand. I just happened to have a set of Ryobis. Were the first ones I had. And I got lots of batteries. Ryobi, buy 2, get more batteries, throw the tool away when it breaks. Yeah, I've experienced that. You can take Taiwan with Milwaukee tools. Yes, you could do that. All right. Let's see. Where was this? Scripted. Lord Sandham asks, at what level of stupid does a beautiful woman become ugly? You mean like a really hot individual, and then they're so stupid that you just can't do it? What level of stupid does a beautiful woman become ugly? Sunny Hostin. That's because Sunny Hostin is a beautiful woman, but she's so fucking stupid. I can't even think of her as being a beautiful woman. But if you stop and just turn off the TV and look at her, she's like, oh, she's very attractive, but she's stupid. So no, she's just ugly because she's so stupid. Okay, that's the level. Lord Stanhope asks, is there anything as sad as a family disintegrating? God, I'm telling you, it's. I think I just am so sad about this whole thing with Rukita because 5 kids, they homeschool all their kids. There's all kinds of stuff, and I don't know if that's in reference to that or not, but yeah, that's going to be tough. Select a Boy asks, is a man really just a man? Well, it depends on which flags you're flying. Because if you're flying one of those rainbow flags with the pink and blue thing, triangle in it, they don't know the answer. They can never answer. In my dialect of the English language, yes, a man is really just a man. Lord Stanhope asks, are you going to enjoy your weekend? Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. By the way, don't forget to, think about good things for the veterans who sacrifice themselves for our great country. I'm going to be hopefully selling furniture all weekend, the stuff that I've been working on. And, we may just take a day trip, one of the either Sunday or Monday. I haven't told Lady Boomer that, but it's going to be a surprise. Probably down to what I want to do is there's about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of here. There are 2 state parks, or there's one's a state park and one's just a privately owned area that they have these giant underground caves. Well, the state park has an underground cave that has a lake underground, and the other cave has a waterfall underground, and they have them lit and whatever. And like the one has this big lake in it. And so we've been meaning to go down there for a few years now. And so I might surprise her. We might just run down there since we don't have big plans other than gardening and whatnot. Lord Stanhope, will you pray for Nick? Yeah, I'm going to pray for Nick. Rod Line asked, found out my niece has an OnlyFans. Do I tell my brother? Ooh. God. Well, it depends. No, I'm not going there. It depends. Is this do you and your niece have a trust relationship, or how are you going to find that out? How are you going to find that out, or how are you going to tell? I would probably mention it to a relative if I noticed that their kid had an OnlyFans. And what is she? Well, I was gonna say, what's she doing on that OnlyFans? But you probably don't even want to know, because not every OnlyFans is someone doing sex shit. I don't know. That's just make sure it's not in your search history. Anyway, Lord Stanhope, will you say a prayer for Nick? Yes, I will. Avocado Stably. So what would it take to convince you to believe Whitney Houston was the Yoko Ono of New Edition? I don't know. I suppose I'd have to find out if she's the reason New Edition broke up, which I don't think happened. I think he was already gone for New Edition. Yeah, it depends on how you feel about your brother. Should he hear it from his work buddies first? No. Oh, God. See, y'all are coming up with... You're coming up with stuff that I just don't know how to deal with. If I'm close to my brother, I'd probably tell him and just say, hey, I don't know if you knew that. That's my first question. How do you know this? You might have heard it from somebody. You never know. It's not like you're searching on OnlyFans. But anyway, that's a tough one. Okay, let me keep going here. Lord Stanhope, are you my mommy? Duh. No. He, him. Thank you. Amazing Disgrace asks, if space is infinite and the cosmos is constantly in motion, will Taylor Swift marry Travis Kelce? No, she won't. That ain't happening. Oh, by the way, interesting there was an interesting discussion on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, the other day. And there was some dude, and he's some scruffy neckbeard dude, talking about how Taylor Swift is mid. Now, in the common jargon, maybe she's like a 5 out of 10. And I was thinking about this because people are arguing, oh no, Taylor Swift is that, whatever. But you know what? I've always thought Taylor Swift was an average looking woman. Not that I'm going to belt it out on the internet normally, but she is actually very average looking. Now, she has infinite talent, regardless of whether you like her music or not. She clearly can write and produce lots of little jingles that she gets to sing, and she's very popular and whatnot. But she's really just an average looking girl. I think maybe that might be her appeal to the masses that love Taylor Swift, is that she's just an average girl singing average songs about average kids that that they can relate to. Because like Beyonce's like, it comes off as super hot, and I don't know if she's really is or not, but Taylor Swift she's an average looking girl, So anyway, she can write the same song in 12 different ways. Exactly. That takes talent to write the same song 12 different ways. So anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. Selected Boy asks, what do you think was the best childhood game you ever played? I gotta be honest, for me, and it's not a childhood game, but it's what I played as a child, was baseball. I loved playing baseball. We had in our neighborhood, there was about 15 kids, all within 3 to 4 years of each other. Okay. And in the summer, especially, the baseball diamond, the park was right across the street from my house. There's a baseball diamond there. And I swear we would play at least 3 times a week. We'd just play baseball in the park across the street. Not organized at all, just kids playing baseball. And that was probably the best thing ever. I see the jarts, the long darts, whatever. And it's not, I know it's not a kid's game, but that was our favorite game. Or at night in the summer, we would play hide and go seek outdoors, and you had an area you had to stay within. And, those were the, I mean, I liked games that you played outdoors with kids that you didn't need a whole lot of equipment. Okay. We'd play football, kill the man, shit like that. But, that was my type of kids game. All right. Shrapnel asks, who had more talent, Adele or Amy Winehouse? Ooh, that's tough. They're so different. You know what? Personally, I really liked Amy Winehouse's music, and it's really sad that she went that route of, basically the drug route, and, which is, I hope, not the route that Nick goes. I really liked Amy Winehouse's voice and her style, singing style, not necessarily personal style, but her singing style. I think it's more interesting than Adele's. Select Boy asks, what were your life goals, whether realistic or too good to be true? Well, when I was 16, I thought I was going to be the first black president. And I even said the year, and I said that year was going to be 2008. So the first black president happened, but it wasn't me. So it was not realistic, because I was not diligent enough to be into politics that much. Avocats Diabli asks, has anyone ever actually put lipstick on a pig? Yes, it's been done. It's not pretty, and it doesn't make the pig look any better. Selected Boy, if you and Lady Boomer were given a chance to become youthful again, what would you do? It depends on how much money we had, because we would travel a lot more, which was something we do now. But the other thing is, though, I don't know, because kids, we traveled with our kids too. We would take our kids to more places too, because some of the best memories that we have as a family and just in general are when we've gone and seen things that we don't normally see where we live. Avocados Diablo asks, is a box full of stolen Nazi gold found? Is it a box of full? Oh, you're still asking questions on the 20 questions. Is it a box full of stolen Nazi gold found in a Swiss vault? Nope, sorry, it's not. Avocados Diablo, if you could put off till tomorrow something you should have done yesterday, but couldn't be bothered to do today, what would it be? Put off till tomorrow something you should have done yesterday, but couldn't be bothered to do today. What would it be? I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't know how to answer that question. There's still time to do it, I guess. All right. So you're about as accurate as Nostradamus. Yes, I am. Toys need to be more dangerous. Thin out the herd a little. Yes, the long darts were good for that. BB guns. Yeah, BB gun. Well, we didn't have BB gun wars, though. We just shot birds with our BB guns. Anyway. Okay. Oh, yeah, as opposed to all those above ground caves. Well, here's what I'm saying. Okay, when I'm talking about caves, yes, there are such thing as above ground caves in a sense. If you think about a cave in the side of a mountain, for example, or inside of a cliff, that cave, your entry is parallel to the ground you're on. These caves, you go down into the ground, and they're underneath the ground level. So that's what I meant by underground caves. Yes, caves are generally underground, but I'm talking about caves that you have to, like, for example, the one in Harmony, Minnesota, just south of Harmony, Minnesota. Can't remember the name of it, but we were there a couple years ago. To get to this cave, they've built a little house around the entry. You go downstairs for about 50 feet before you even start walking through the cave. And they're constant, they built steps all throughout, and you're going down, deeper. By the time you're done at the lowest point in the cave where they have lit, you're down underground about 100 feet. So, and then you're still going through this cave. And it's interesting to me. So this particular cave that we went to, and I can't remember the name, it's south of Harmony, Minnesota. The guys who discovered it, the reason they discovered this cave under their land was because one day there were 3 pigs missing. Okay. And so they're trying to figure out, well, what happened to these pigs? They're searching all over their land, and then they are walking over this one part, and they hear this noise, and there's a hole in the ground, and they hear, the pigs were down there, and so they had to go down in this cave and find these pigs. But this is back in the late 1800s. There's no electricity. They don't have flashlights. So they're going down there with, oil lanterns, and they find that there's this cave under their land. And the cave is about 1.5 miles long underground. They're you have they have the flashlights, and they're climbing through this cave. Can you imagine what it's like exploring caves back then with just lanterns? And you go down into the cave, and it is complete darkness. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And there are people go down there with these lanterns there, and they're exploring this cave that's like 1 mile long, and they find a waterfall in it. There's a little river running through it. It's pretty wild. You have caves all over Missouri. Yeah, there's a bunch of caves in Missouri too. Yeah. If you're in ice caves, aren't you underwater? Not necessarily. There's a cave near Northfield, Minnesota. In fact, we were there in July. Back the first time I went there, this was back in the late or early 90s. I was on a bicycle tour, and they said, oh yeah, if you see this old man, ask him about the cave. And so we're riding on this, this bike trail, and we see this old man on a bike riding the other way. We're like, hey, are you the guy who knows where the cave is? He's like, yeah. Can you show us where it is? Oh yeah, it's just about 1/2 mile from where we are. And he took us down, and he took us into this cave, and literally, in the middle of July, hot summer day, about 90 degrees, this cave is still just filled with ice. From the, when the water was dripping in the cave, and the walls become this solid block of ice. And I don't know where the water goes after that, because the cave's not filled with ice, just the walls are ice. But it was still ice in the middle of July. So no, you're not necessarily underwater if you're in an ice cave. It might just be that water trickles through the cave and freezes along the walls. So anyway, where are we at? Where was I at here? Where can I find above ground caves? You know what I meant. I explained that. All right, Lord Stanhope, would you deny Taylor Swift was built like a teenage boy? No, she's not a teenage boy. Nah, because her shoulders aren't that big. Someone said up there that Taylor Swift is an 8 or 9 in regular world, but she's a 6 or 7 in celebrity world. She's she might be a 6, maybe 7 in real world to me. I don't know. She's just a normal looking girl. And when I say 5's average. See, some people get this scale that everyone's above average. No, you can't be above average. If everyone were above average, then there would be no average. Anyway, all right. Lord Stanhope asks, did anyone kiss the pig someone put lipstick on. I'm sure there's a there's a pig kissing contest somewhere. I guarantee it. Rod Line asks, would you rather be giving $100 million but get 5 years off your life, or go back 10 years in time but be $50,000 in debt? Well, it depends, okay? If I could go back 10 years in time and be $50,000 in debt, that'd be pretty normal because I have a house. So, but if I go back 10 years in time and still have knowledge of the 10 years that I'm going back, then I could make some very wise investment decisions 10 years in advance, and I'm sure I would be able to grow it to more than $100 million. So there you go. And $100 million, but get 5 years off your life. Well, I don't know, because I don't know how long my life would be. So again, I'd probably do the 10 years. Avocados Diabli asks, is this the last question? No. Avocados Diabli asks, you mean caves don't come with existing wiring and lights as is? You know, the only one they discovered that was like that was under some apartment buildings in New York City. And finally, Avocados Diabli asks, is this the last question? Yes, it is the last question. So, there we go. That was the Friday Q&A. Let me check the... Oh my gosh. Outdoors, you monster. What? Hypnagogic Monk. I didn't even have this side of the Rumble side open here. So there you go. Hypnagogic Monk. Kelsey would drop Swift because she likes to be a girl boss. Yeah, maybe. I don't think look, that's just not gonna happen. That's not the right guy for Taylor Swift. And that's not the right girl for Kelsey either. P-Dog is a Swiftie confirmed. No, I'm not. Thanks, Mr. Scott. I'm not. And welcome, by the way. And Outdoors, you monster. No. So anything else we need to chat about? I don't think so. Tay-Tay is an attractive woman for gay men. Is she, though? I think, well, I don't know. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a day because I got shit to do. Even though I could go longer today, doesn't mean I can go all day long. That bad. Anyway, thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I will be back on Monday, Memorial Day, and we'll probably do a long show on Memorial Day too. And I don't have, well, there's some links. There's some articles I didn't get to that are interesting. So we'll drop those in the chat at the end of the show and also in the description, both on Rumble and YouTube. I hope you all have something nice plan. If you don't have the extra day just because Memorial Day, not everyone gets Memorial Day off of work. But if you do, I hope you find some way to make it interesting and fascinating for you and or your family or loved ones or significant others or just a friend you hang out with. Do something cool over the weekend, and maybe you can tell me about it on Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, it is it. I got to go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. My name is P. Dog Night. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great, great weekend. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.